All right, let's get it. Y'all already know it's De Niro Gaming, man. Uh, we got this motherfucking crime or whatever. A lady went out and I guess she ain't make it back or whatever. I don't know what's going on. Let's see who could foresaw this murder or what or missing person or whatever the case may be. Let's see what's going on, man.
On Prime Crime.
Hi, I'm here for a missing persons report.
A night out for a mother of three ends in tragedy.
Her injuries were brutal. It was so bad that they couldn't ID her.
But identifying a killer
When I interview someone, what I want to do is give them the opportunity to talk.
becomes a complicated task.
Thank you, guys. So nobody. That's your alibi? Your alibi is the guy that's in custody for murder. That's what you're going to walk out this door with?
As we move from one suspect
Right now, I'm going to be taking you into custody.
to another.
So obviously you're brought in handcuffs, right? Which means you're arrested.
All right, man. Let's see why this motherfucking girl went missing and what's going on, man. Cause this shit crazy as hell. Tired of motherfuckers going missing, man. Get y'all some blicks and shit, man. We need the better arms and get the tape and shit, man. Real spill, man. Let's see what's going on though. What I don't know what happened, where she at, or anything.
From County Public Safety.
Yes. How do I go about, missing persons?
In May 2016, out in Green Bay, Wisconsin,
So
a
this Green
911
Bay,
phone call
Wisconsin.
begins a new
Okay,
case.
not too far from where I'm at. I'm in Chicago. You
It's
feel
my
me?
girlfriend, and she does live with me, and she's never done this before.
What's her name?
Nicole.
They talking about some Nicole.
Nicole Vanderhayden was a mother of three, was a substitute teacher, and was described by most of the people in her life as someone who really enjoyed life. She was described as someone who had a zest for life, enjoyed the outdoors, and a holistic lifestyle.
And what's your name?
Doug
Last name?
Petrie.
Doug and Nikki had been in a relationship. They had been in a relationship for some time. They had had a child together.
Officer Shield arrived at Berkeley Road on May 21st, 2016, completing a missing persons report.
So they put in a missing report. He came to their crib,
Is Doug
type
there?
shit.
Oh, okay. Hi. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. I'm here for a missing persons report.
Time becomes critical in a missing persons case, and one of the first things investigators need to do is to understand the sequence of events leading up to a disappearance.
What's going on?
I haven't nobody's seen or heard from her since last night. I'd say like what, midnight.
Nicole Vanderhayden
That shit
was
crazy
with
as
her
hell. So they ain't seen her
boyfriend,
since
Doug
midnight.
Petrie, and they were out with a group of friends.
And they went
We were
out.
actually on the west
I
side of
guess they went
Warren
out for a
Road.
party. What the
I was on
fuck?
my way down there, and she was down at the sardine can with some other friends of mine. Actually, they
Okay.
were at the what is it called, the Sandlot or whatever? It was a concert
Like
there.
they was at a
That
concert
was over
and
with.
she went missing. So like
Spoke with her, and she was
anybody
already
can
in town
have
with
her.
my friends.
Like
Headed down
anybody
to the
like.
sardine can where we were all
So what the fuck going on, man? Like
During the evening, they had a disagreement and became separated.
My friend Erin saw her. She was upset and walking away down south on Maple Street.
So before you even got down to the sardine can, he texted you that she just stormed off south on Maple Street.
so she just
talked to her
in
in
the
the
video
car, and she
she
was all
walk
mad.
off like what he
Who did?
said, man.
I did.
Okay.
So I don't think
was she
he
mad about?
did it.
I don't know. She
What
said
the
I
fuck
talked
happened to
a
her?
girl. Well, I have no idea.
Were you guys drinking?
Tell me what happened, man.
Doug's intoxicated, Nicole's intoxicated.
That shit
Obviously,
crazy as hell.
alcohol
What happened?
is a contributing factor. You're not making the best decisions because we're not thinking.
I'm
and
trying to
acting the
figure out
same
what happened
way.
to this lady, man.
I was still at the watering hole and
Yep.
wondering where she was, and
Yep.
because we were gonna go on to the next place as the show was over. And,
Yep.
That's
Why
when
he
I
scratching
talked
his
to her.
leg and
She
shit?
was
He
with
lying.
A couple of my other friends riding with
Why you
them.
scratching
That
his
was
shit?
actually on the phone. It was
Did you call
brief
her? Or did
conversation.
she call you?
I called her.
She was angry at Doug because she thought that he was flirting with other people. Well, that night,
Rule number one: motherfucker get the scratching their leg and shit. They lie.
There wasn't a seamless relationship between the two. There had been some static in the relationship, some arguments historically.
We had actually talked to her. I was call her on the way down. You actually talked to her.
Talked to her. She's mad. She was walking. She was trying to get her to tell us where she was. I thought maybe if I was talking to her instead of Doug, that maybe she would let me know where she was and let us come pick her up, so she's not just wandering the streets.
Yeah.
She didn't believe that I wasn't Doug talking to her, and she hung up.
Okay.
So she just hung up on my
Every time I tried
way.
to call her again, her phone just went to voicemail.
Nikki went to the sardine can and Doug did not, at least not right away. And that's where law enforcement kind of ran into a little bit of a dead end, because the last video that they had of Nikki was leaving the sardine can and they didn't know where she went next.
That's
Did
crazy
you
as
see her
hell.
walking?
No. We drove up and down the streets for a while.
So they
trying
drove
to
around
find
looking
her.
for that's
And
what
then
they
we
say,
went
man. They
back
drove
to
around.
Sardine
They
Can,
came
and
back
maybe
in.
she
That's kind of
walked back
suspicious.
there, and then we asked people around
See,
the Sardine
suspense
Can
is
if they had
music
seen her.
and shit.
What time
That's
did you
getting
guys get
suspended.
home?
I'm getting lit.
2:30 maybe.
Doug then
Them
went
nigga
home
lying.
and relieved the babysitter and took care of his child. And he reported that he was hungover the next day and assumed that she had been as well. So while he was concerned that she hadn't shown up, he wasn't
So he went
concerned at
home
that
to the
point
babysitter,
to
then
make a missing
didn't
persons
say nothing in the
report or alert
morning.
authorities. It wasn't until
He
some
thought she
time
was just
later
got a hotel
that
or
he
something, or
actually
was at a
did
friend
report
house,
her missing to the police.
and he
Is it
just
normal for her to
reported her
sleep
missing
off
during the middle of the
being
day,
angry
like
at
later
you
on that
somewhere
day.
else? Is that normal?
No. Even when she's been upset with me, still we'll maintain contact.
We had had text messages
That
from
shit
that
crazy
night
as
that were
hell.
very indicative that there was issues.
She told you where
Now
she
she's
was at,
saying
but
he
she was
abusive
definitely
and
upset
shit.
at that time, thinking maybe she saw you
Oh,
talking to
just
somebody.
yeah.
Okay.
She had sent me a text saying that.
That she was upset with you?
Yeah.
Can I see the text? Why is she calling you abusive?
I don't know.
As we learn more into the case, the relationship maybe wasn't what it seemed between Nikki and Doug.
So he
Doug
was
had
abusing her, he
allegations
was
of abuse
abusive?
against him in the past. The fighting
What
that
the
had
fuck?
happened before
So they used to be
obviously
abusive.
was of concern to law enforcement.
Well, I feel like
Investigators.
I ain't gonna lie. When you argue with a female, I feel like all females say you're abusive. Like, what the fuck? That's just toxic. That's just the That's the future of me. You feel me? But we gonna keep it going. We ain't gonna give it the benefit of that. We gonna understand he was probably abusing her, beating her and shit. You feel me? I don't condone in that. But I ain't saying that no female over beat you up to put her hand. You feel me? But don't be out here over whooping on no females, man. Y'all can't be doing that, man.
Then bring Doug in for more questioning.
What time did you leave the watering hole then?
I didn't leave. I don't know. I'm guessing around midnight-ish. A little after. I was pretty intoxicated at that point.
The first person we are going to...
Man, he's sitting there like, I don't know, looking at his face and shit. He looked like somebody who kidnapped people and shit, and reported missing and shit. But we're gonna see.
to look at is the significant other. They're the closest to the person. A lot of times they're the easiest to eliminate, depending on their alibi and the evidence that we see.
How long do you think you drove around looking for her before you went to the sardine can?
To be honest, I don't think 10 minutes. I don't know.
And this whole time you were driving around looking for her, were you either calling and or texting her?
Yeah.
When I interview someone, what I want to do is give them the opportunity to talk. I'm looking at body language. How's the person reacting?
What do you think happened, or where do you think she may have gone? Any idea?
To be honest, I don't know. I think she
I don't know where
just
she went.
sort of
Like, this shit crazy.
walked on. I think she might have went to another bar.
A lot of times, I'm going to ask questions that I already know the answer to
Tell her they
see
gonna ask
if they are
questions
being
what they know the
truthful
answers
or
to.
find any type of deceit.
At some point this morning, you woke up and must have been kind of freaking out that she wasn't home yet.
Yeah.
It's always hard to judge people, especially when they're going through something traumatic. My initial read from it was it just seemed like somewhat of a lack of emotion to some extent.
That's what I said. This
Did you
nigga
at
did.
any time think about getting out and going looking for her?
Yeah, well, that's when Greg was, I got a hold of Greg and he said, can you give me a ride to my car? And I had Dylan, so I had to ask my parents to
He
come over
lied.
and watch him. In this time period, I get more and more worried talking to people and not finding any answers.
Investigators put their attention on Dietrich, particularly since he didn't report Nicole missing until the following afternoon. But is he the one responsible for Nicole's disappearance?
So Friday was the last time that her vehicle left your residence?
Yep.
You haven't driven it all this weekend?
No.
This case is
What
about
the
to
fuck?
change
Her vehicle at
when
his crib,
police
though?
receive another 911 phone call.
Brown County 911, what is the address of your emergency?
It's just about by the corner of Bellevue and is that Alloway Avenue where they crisscross? We just found a human body laying in some weeds. Oh God, we're clear in a field here and we just ran across it.
There was a farmer that had been picking rocks in a field.
What the fuck? So he
with
cleaned his field?
family, and they had discovered a body in the field that was kind of in the woods.
What the fuck?
When we return, what happened to Nicole Vanderheiden? The answers may not be
Man,
what
this
you
shit
think.
crazy, man. What the fuck happened to her?
You don't have any kind of injuries anywhere, anything?
Well,
Why he crying?
I mean, like scratches, like something that would look like you've been in a fight.
if you want, no.
Would you consider Nikki to be a scrapper, a fighter?
No, I mean,
She more.
she could hold her own, I bet.
In 2016, Green Bay, Wisconsin authorities are trying to find out what happened to Nicole Vanderheiden, a mother and teacher.
What the
they
fuck?
question her boyfriend and
her
father of one of her
boyfriend?
kids, Douglas
Boyfriend.
Dietrich, who had been out with Nicole the night of her disappearance,
missing.
but separated from her
Kids
when
at
the
her
two began to
school.
argue. However,
They
the day
teach her
after
gone like
she went
this
missing,
shit horrific,
police
man.
receive a startling
This some
call.
crazy shit.
Is the person beyond help, or do I need to give you
Yeah.
instructions for CPR?
No, it's beyond help. It's starting
Is
to
it
decay.
is it a male or a female?
It's got long hair.
This body that was found down the street, I don't think it's been 100% identified as her, but there's a lot of similarities. What do you mean a lot of similarities? It's a physical description, height, blonde, belly button ring.
In a tragic turn of events, that body was positively identified as Nicole Vanderheiden.
What the
She had
fuck?
suffered from strangulation and blunt
Somebody
force trauma
strangled
to
her?
the head, and there was
And hit her
indication
in
of
the
sexual
head.
assault.
And raped
Her
her.
injuries were brutal. It was so bad that they couldn't ID her. They had to formally identify her through dental records. She
What
had
the
bruises
fuck?
all over her body. I believe it was over 200 different bruises.
What happened?
Well, I don't know.
That's what we're trying to figure out.
An off-duty deputy found a bunch of clothing that was just on the side of the road.
What the
and
fuck?
that happened to be her personal belongings. Some of
What
her
the fuck?
clothes, maybe a purse,
Some
discarded
motherfucker-
right there on the highway near where her body was found. It was near her house.
The suspect in this case committed these horrific crimes, choked her,
Hell
and is
no.
probably in panic mode,
Hell no.
realizing that I need to at least distance some of this evidence from the body.
You haven't talked to Aaron yet.
We're working on it. Why are you so concerned that we talked to Aaron?
Well, he's the last person I've seen her that I know. I want to know at least his story is true and
Mm-hmm. So basically what we know right now is what you've told us.
Now, investigators focus more on Dietrich.
Did you do anything to cause her to go missing?
no.
What the fuck?
Besides being a phone.
Well, the next step in this is to search your house
Okay.
and her car.
All right. Well, I understand that.
So there was a search warrant written for your house,
Okay.
and they're headed over there now to search your house.
Okay.
In these types of situations, the person that's closest to them, they
What
have the
the
most to
fuck?
gain.
So
When
they
go
searching his
search your
career
house,
for
is there anything in there that they're gonna find that's gonna say you had anything to do with this?
Actually, Nothing whatsoever. Nothing. I have nothing to do with this. I mean,
However, law enforcement does find something at the home that Dietrich shared with Vanderheiden.
There was blood found in the garage. There was a footprint or a shoe print found on Nicole that looked similar to the tread of a sneaker that was found within the residence. There was also what appeared to be blood on that sneaker.
There was actually a neighbor that had been cutting his grass, and he had hit something with his lawnmower. They had found a frayed cord that was believed to be one of the murder weapons. When you put that all together, ultimately the crime scene was right there in front of their house.
Sergeant Slinger, Lieutenant White on Monday, May 23rd.
What the
Attempting
fuck?
contact with Doug Dietrich at his family's residence.
So,
Okay, here's the deal, Doug. Right now, I'm going to be taking you into custody. I'll be handcuffing you. I'll explain all that to you in a bit, and transporting you down to the sheriff's department. Okay? So
Okay.
just be cooperative with me,
All right.
and we'll roll it that way.
Wow, okay.
All right?
Forensic evidence, the fighting,
What
and
the
failing
fuck?
to call 911 for hours after Nicole's disappearance all lead to authorities arresting Douglas
so
Dietrich.
they arrest his ass.
At one
Well, I
point
would
in the
arrested his ass
investigation,
too.
law enforcement interviewed Dietrich's friend, Greg Matthews.
They arresting these motherfuckers. Motherfuckers steady putting off crimes, killing motherfuckers and shit. Y'all ass is crazy, bro. Let's get it, man.
Doug is providing a story. Doug is with us. I mean, so that's kind of a big deal, isn't it? Right now, he's with us. I know.
Matthew had been with Dietrich on the night that Nicole was killed, but he's adamant he played no role in what happened.
Whatever the issue was with Doug and Nicole that night, I don't think that it was pre-planned. I don't think it was something that was malicious. Not only do I not think that Doug wanted this to occur, but I especially don't think that you wanted this to occur.
This is
Honestly,
crazy.
I had absolutely nothing to do with what? What did you have nothing to do with? Anything to do with. What did you have nothing to do with? I did not see Nikki again after she left the watering hole. I absolutely did not see her again. The evidence shows that your friend, Doug, had involvement.
What the fuck?
There's no doubt
He don't.
about it.
He probably don't know nothing about it.
Help you guys as much as I can. I've been thinking about this timeline for the last 72 hours. Can you tell me what you could possibly think that we would have found at his house that would cause Doug to be with us? No idea. I would hope that he wouldn't have been able to find anything at his house, because I would hope that he had nothing to do with this.
And that's when Matthew has had enough.
I never saw Nikki again. I left the house while Dallas, was the babysitter, was still there. Who can vouch for you for the 60 minutes before you showed up and made contact with Dallas? Who can vouch for where you were if your phone is dead? Thank you, guys. So nobody. That's your alibi? Your alibi is the guy that's in custody for murder. That's what you're going to walk out this door with? When you are starting to accuse me of being involved in this in any way. And I want to accuse you of being involved. Yes, you are. You're telling me, oh, it'll make you feel better if you tell us the truth. I've been telling you the truth. Doug disclosed nothing to me. He is...
What the fuck? I think he ain't had nothing to do with that. I don't know if he did, but people be crazy at her. So I don't know, man. People be doing crazy shit.
And he better not, because if he told me he had any involvement in it, I would tell you guys immediately.
That is an interesting question. Do authorities
What
have
the
the
fuck?
right person in custody? Did Douglas Dietrich kill Nicole Vanderheiden? When we return, a new player comes into the mix.
How is this?
All right, man. This part one. We're gonna wrap this up, man. I think dude don't know his friend killed her, and had nothing to do with it. You feel me? But some telling me he did. So if y'all want to know what happened to the rest of it in this story, man, go ahead, follow into part 2. Let's get it.